that debt, you're holding down your score. So make a plan to do that. So just like you make a plan for anything else, if you got kids in college, if you got kids that go to a private school, if you got kids that's on a AAU travel team and you know how much those things cost and you make a plan to play those things, make a plan to pay down your credit card debt as well. I want you to do this. Look at your next credit card statement. Look at it. What's the balance on it? How long does it say that that it'll take for you to pay off this debt? Right there on the first page, they tell you if you keep paying this minimum, whatever the minimum is, maybe your minimum is $25, maybe your minimum is $150, maybe it's $250, whatever your minimum is, if you keep paying this minimum, this is how many years it'll take you to pay off this particular debt. And that's if you don't charge not another dime. This is how long it'll be. You'll be shocked if you've never paid attention to it. If you've always put your head in the sand, like I don't even want to look at it, then you'll be shocked on how long it's going to take you to get there. But then also underneath that, they have, if you pay a little more and they give you a dollar amount, if you pay a little more, this is how many years it'll take you to get out of debt. Could be 3 years, could be 6 years, whatever it is. It'll tell you how long it'll take you to get out of debt if you pay a little more on your credit card bill. And again, that's without charging not another dime to that particular card. So take a look at that thing. Take a look at that statement and see what you see on there, and then start to devise a plan. It may seem overwhelming to some of you guys. Some of you will be like, oh, this is no big deal. I could probably pay this off in a month because you got money like that, or that particular balance isn't that high. But whatever it is, if you are carrying debt, if you're carrying massive amounts of credit card debt, it's absolutely hurting and bringing down your credit score. All right, so let's take a pause for the calls right quick. We are halfway through the show. So let's take a pause for the calls. I got to do some more shout outs, and we're going to do the question of the day. So let me give this shout out right quick. I got to give a shout out to Monica Richardson. She celebrates her birthday today. Yes, so happy birthday to you, Monica Richardson. She is a proud member of DST, yes, the Crimson and Cream family, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So happy birthday to you, Monica Richardson. I got to give a shout out to a couple of my frat brothers. Dante Adams, happy birthday to you, Dante Adams, from Lambda Eta chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And Reggie Robinson, he celebrates a birthday as well. Reggie is from New Chapter, just like my cousin, so not the same age bracket at all, but I want to say happy birthday to you, Reggie Robinson, as well. All right, so let's get to the question of the day. So the question of the day comes from William, and William is out of Tennessee. William contacted me by email. You can do the same. 800@creditscoreman.com. So hit me there, 800, yes, that's 800 at creditscoreman.com. Drop me your questions. I will answer you directly, and then you may become a part of the 800 Credit Score Man show. So William from Tennessee, he asked this: is it better to pay a collection or just let it fall off naturally? All right, so that's a good question. People want to know that all the time. They want to get rid of these collections. Basically, the first thing people really want to do, they just want them wiped out like they never happened, and they don't want to pay anything. That's the first thing people normally want to do. But here's what he said. So here's what I said to him. It depends. So it really does. It depends. How old is it? So I don't like to give out, I give out general information, but I like to be specific at the same time if that's ever possible. And if you contact me directly, I will give you specific information for you. But generally speaking, I would want to know, how old is the debt? How much is it? What are you trying to do? So what's your goal? Are you trying to buy a car soon? Are you trying to buy a house? What are you trying to do? If you've got a collection on your credit report and you're trying to buy a car, of course, you can get a car. Most likely you can get a car even with a collection on your credit report. Maybe you pay a little bit higher interest rate just because your score isn't as high as it could be if you didn't have a collection, but yes, you can get a car. If you're buying a home, different story. If you're buying a home, the mortgage company oftentimes, and depending on how big the collection is as well, they may want you to pay off all of your collections prior to them closing on the loan for you. So here's one thing that I didn't write down. But here's one thing. If you're trying to buy a home and you know you have collections, don't wait till you put your mortgage application in and start dealing with these collections. They're going to make you pay it off anyway. For the most part, typically, they're going to make you pay it off anyway. So you need to start working on those collections prior to. You pay those collections off, maybe you get some off of your credit report, then your score is going to be better. you get a better interest rate with your mortgage. So don't go in there. You know you have these collections on your credit report. Don't go to the mortgage company with your hat in hand because you already have an issue there, something that they've got to overcome or tell you to do something on it, and you don't get the benefit. They'll be to close the loan by the time your credit score reflects that you don't have these collections anymore, and it has gone up. So I'm gonna take care of those collections first. So here's the question. So it depends. So if you're trying to get a car or whatever, then maybe you go ahead and you leave the collection alone. But it's always better to pay it. And you'll know this in number 6 of today's show about the 7 deadly sins. We're going to talk about that a little bit there. But it's better to be paid than not to be paid. That's pretty much across the board, that it's better to be paid than not to be paid. But if it's still unclear to you what you should do about your specific situation, like if it's 6 years old, and let's say it's a $16,000 collection for whatever reason, and it's 6 years old, and it's going to fall off your credit report in 1 year, are you going to pay $16,000 right now because of what? Are you going to do that at this particular point, at this particular juncture? Typically, if you would come to me and you were my client, I would say we're going to leave this one alone, and we're just going to let it ride out, because with 16 grand, I'm sure we can take care of a whole bunch of other things on your credit report. If we were to just pay everybody, we can pay a whole bunch of other things on your credit report with 16 grand. Like, we can do a lot more with that 16 grand when it comes to impacting your credit score. We can do a lot more with that $16,000. Even if they gave it to you for half off and you had 8 grand, it's still a year before it falls off your credit report. Are you going to pay 8 grand? Now, if it's $400 and it's 2 years old, and it's going to be in your credit report for another 5 years, and it's a small amount, then you might want to go ahead and pay that. And we'll talk a little bit about that in number 6. All right. So if you are still a little bit unclear about your specific situation, just like I said, if you have something specific, contact me, 312-600-5855, or drop me an email again at 800@creditscoreman.com, and I will give you some specific instructions on what I think you should do when it comes to those collections. So William from Tennessee, thank you so very much for contacting me. You are officially a part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family, and please tell your friends and family, send in those questions, you guys. Send in those questions, and I will gladly answer them for you, and you may be a part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family. So thank you so very much. I appreciate it. All right, so let me do a couple more shout-outs too. So last week I should have shouted out Lamar Welch. He celebrated a birthday, so happy birthday to you, Lamar. Kim Brooks, I had to shout her out as well. I should have shouted her out last week, so she celebrated a birthday. Happy birthday to you, Kim Brooks. All right, hey, you guys, you know what? This week I had a lot of people join up for the free 5-day credit challenge. So go to my website, www.creditscoreman.com. That's www.creditscoreman.com. Go to that website. You'll get a pop-up, and it'll say, take the free 5-day credit challenge. Take the free 5-day credit challenge. A lot of people took it this week, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe a lot of people just happen to go to the website, or you guys are really interested in your credit because it's the end of the year, and you want to start fresh and anew in 2019. Whatever it is, whatever the reason is, I don't care. Why don't you go check it out and get signed up to get the free 5-day credit challenge at www.creditscoreman.com. All right, so let's get to the rest of these, and we're going to end the show, you guys. So we talked about your credit cards, right? Number 4, this is very simple. Not checking your credit report. That's a deadly sin. You got to check your credit report. Now, I don't expect you to check your credit report as much as I do. I mean, I check my credit report if I'm bored. I check my credit report if I'm just sitting around. I just check it all the time for whatever reason. I know what's on there. I know nothing's changed if I haven't done anything and made any transactions or whatever. But a lot of people don't check it that often at all. A lot of people don't check it at all. So if you're going to check your credit report, you gotta check your credit report. So you gotta check it if you're not signed up with a free service for whatever reason. I already explained that whole Vantage thing versus FICO. But if you're not signed up with somebody that gives you a Vantage score because you don't like it and you don't think it's accurate or whatever it is, that doesn't matter. That score doesn't really necessarily matter if you don't like it. The information on your credit report is what matters. That information is absolutely correct, or should be correct. It's what everybody has. It's what Experian has. It's what TransUnion has. It's what Equifax has. That information is what is most important when it comes to that. So you want to make sure that you got it. So check your credit report. You can check it every month if you want to. I don't care. Check it every week if you want to. But don't let 5 months go past and you haven't checked your credit report. Especially with so much fraud happening out here and people getting hacked and companies getting hacked and all this other stuff. To protect yourself, you need to check your credit report. So that's definitely one of the daily sins. Go check your credit report, and you know you can do it for free at those kinds of sites, but you can also do it for free once a year at www.annualcreditreport.com. You can go there and you can get your credit report for free. You can get a free one if you're denied. So if you're denied, the place that denied you, they're going to send you a letter. In that letter, they're going to give you instructions on how you can get your credit report for free. There are several states around the country. Georgia is one of them off the top of my head, where you're allowed more than one in that 12-month rolling area. And there's about 6 or 7 states that allow you to do that. You're allowed more than one free credit report every year from annualcreditreport.com. So make sure you guys go and check your credit report. You're looking for errors. You're looking to make sure that everything is accurate on your credit report, because you hate to look up and be like, what in the world is this? You know, it's been 2 years. And now everybody assumes that it's yours because it's been on there for 2 years. Get to your credit report and check it out, all right? Number 5, late payments. Late payments absolutely kill your credit report. I'm talking 30, 40, 60 points. In the case of a mortgage, I've seen 100 points drop off of your credit report for being late. So at the end of the day, I don't care what you got to do, hook or crook, don't be 30 days late. Just don't be 30 days late on your credit report. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're floating checks. I don't know what it is you're doing. Don't be 30 days late. So when you have something you're late, just say you just forgot, right? You forgot. Oh, man, I forgot it's 5th of the month that particular payment is due. Don't be 30 days late. And don't think in your head, all right, I'll just pay double next month. Don't do that either, because you can find yourself in a catch-22 where it shows that you're 30 days late, even though you pay double the next month, even so that happens. So make sure that you make your payments on time, but don't be 30 days late. Just don't ever be 30 days late. I wouldn't even push it for 29 days. You never know what happens and what goes on. And here's something that I was on Facebook, and a gentleman was talking about how companies do as far as a cutoff on time and whatnot. So some credit card companies, if you will, they may have a cutoff time for that day. So your payment is due on, the 21st of the month, and you send your payment in on 21st of the month, or, you do it electronically. But let's say you do it at 8 o'clock at night. You do it at 8 o'clock at night and you live on the West Coast. So on the East Coast, it's not 8 o'clock. You might be past the deadline. Some companies' deadline for that payment to be received that day, for you to get credit that day, might be 5 o'clock East Coast time. So you need to adjust your time on when you're going to make your payment. Maybe it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's on your statement. It's on your statement. Get to your statements, take a look, and see what it is. And it may not just be a credit card. Maybe it's your car payment. They may have a cutoff time to receive payment that day, so it's not late. So make sure you get there, because late payments absolutely kill your credit report. So all the good stuff that you've done, it can just wipe it all out by being late one time. Which again, and say something happened, that's why you need that emergency fund, was the very first thing that I mentioned to you guys today. So late payments, absolutely deadly 7 sin, set one of the 7 deadly sins. And I know you knew that one was coming. So number 6, I mentioned this when we were talking about in the question of the day with William. Collections. Having a collection. Don't let things go to collections. If they're calling you and they're threatening to send you collections and whatnot, they're sending you letters, don't necessarily ignore them. You can go call them and negotiate them. Offer them $5 a month. They might turn it down, but if you say, hey, all I got is $5 a month, and then you start sending them $5 a month, most likely that account is going to stay in-house, and they'll keep calling you. They'll keep sending you letters. They'll keep telling you how far you are behind and this, that, and the other, but it's better than going to collections, because you know that they're going to kill your credit report as well. So what I did say I want to mention, off of the question of the day is this. FICO 9 again, which everybody's not on, and it's probably going to be a lot of people that's going to skip FICO 9 and go to Ultra FICO. But FICO 9 and VantageScore 3.0